everybody, welcome to our author Q&A featuring me, Brendan Noble, and my wife,
Andrea.
And we'll be answering some of the questions that you guys sent in via Instagram, YouTube, email, a lot of different locations, and just talking about books and life.
And my job is to be the referee or judge on whether his statements are true or false. So we'll see how honestly you answer.
She might know some of the responses to the questions better than I do.
I think so. The first question is a very important one. What is your name?
My name is Brendan Noble. That was a great question, Heron.
What's your middle name?
Samuel. My family decided I should be B.S. Noble. That was a great initials.
I think that should be like your author
name. I don't think so.
I think so. The second question is also very important. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is red. And my favorite color combination is red and black. You'll see a lot of I'm not wearing it in the Slavic Saturday videos because I just have the tunic, but I wear a lot of red and black.
Isn't the order red, black, yellow for you?
Yep. And red and yellow, though, the combination doesn't work as well as red and black. So.
Okay, objective fact from Brendan Noble. The third question is, why did you start writing?
I started writing because it was actually a challenge from you back in, was it 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019, I was in Grand Rapids. Andrea said I should do National Novel Writing Month in November, which is where you try to write a book in a month, and I wrote The Fractured Prism, which is my first book in my old series, in a month during that, and that was a pretty fun experience. I'd always been interested in the idea of writing, but never actually convinced of it before that, and it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it, and never stopped since.
It's like developed into his whole life and identity now, which is great. We love it. The third question is, when is The Dagger in the Winds finally coming out?
A Dagger in the Winds is finally coming out in June, and June 15th. And the pre-order will be starting during the cover reveal on May 15th. So stay tuned for this channel for that.
So that means Brendan's going to be super stressed June 13th, 14th, and 15th.
No,
so please relieve his stress, everyone, by his book.
I'll be super stressed between May 14th, getting ready for the cover reveal, through June 25th.
Oh no! Spare me that stress by his book. Next question. What is your favorite Slavic creature?
That's a hard one. I really like a lot of them, but because, dragons are always cool, I like the Zmish, which is the Slavic dragon, which is like a shape-shifting dragon that can be a dragon or a person.
Will the Zmish ever make an appearance in your books?
Yes, it doesn't appear in the first book, but appears in the second, and definitely the later books as well. So if you like dragons.
I just wish there was a unicorn. Like, that's all I want in life is a unicorn
Slavic
young adult series.
Slavic mythology, the problem is there's no of these, like, cute creatures. They're all like, it tries to kill you.
I don't understand. What sparked your interest in Slavic mythology?
I can't remember exactly what sparked my interest, but I'd read Rick Riordan's series in Greek mythology when I was in middle school, which has always sparked my interest in mythology in general, because it was Greek mythology. But I think a lot of it was my grandparents died a couple years ago when I was in high school and then in college, and so I was starting to look into like the roots of their Polish heritage. And then I kind of discovered there was mythology around it, and I kind of dived in wholeheartedly and decided I could write a book about it. And yeah, so it's kind of like a little bit of remembrance of my heritage, because a lot of on my mother's side of the family, those grandparents, we grew up with some traditions that were Polish, and I didn't really realize they were Polish. So it was kind of fun to dive into the mythology on top of that.
Now, question circling back to Percy Jackson. If you could choose between the Greek camps and the Roman camps, what would you choose and why?
Definitely Greek. I'm not a huge fan of Roman things in general. I'm gonna be completely honest. That goes back to Civilization 4 when I played as the Greeks and the Romans came around and crushed me all the time. And the Roman camp just copies the Greek camp. So
the Roman camp is entirely unique, 100% more efficient, and it's more rooted in your identity as a person instead of who your parents are.
But the chaos of the Greek camp is
beautiful. So many people killed. There's a reason why there's a college at the Roman camp and no one lives past 16 in the Greek camp. I'm right. So now you know. What's your favorite part of being an author?
I really like creating the world. World building's some of my most fun. I really liked playing with the mythology, especially with in the Frostmarked Chronicles with Dagger in the Winds, and being able to take the mythology and then make a world around it and kind of come up with this political systems, economic systems, magic systems. That's all really fun. You can spend way too much time doing that, not actually writing, which I've done before. And then it's also just as fun as hearing people's responses, what they like, what they don't like, and it's always fun to be like, wow, I made that.
I
So
think the time you smile the most as a writer is A, getting a cover back that you like, or B, reading through someone's edits and they're liking parts of your book that you really wanted them to like, and you just beam ear to ear, and it's the cutest thing.
yeah, because you put in these things, sometimes you don't even realize as the author, you're like, this is funny, and like I'm not laughing because I wrote it, but then when someone laughs at it, you're like, yes.
Who is your biggest inspiration for your writing besides me?
Yes. I would say this is probably going to be connected to the next question I know is coming up, but that author inspirations is Brandon Sanderson. And I'd say Leigh Bardugo too, with her YA style stuff, and then Sanderson just writing and getting into epic fantasy in general. Both of Leigh Bardugo's Grisha verse really inspired me a lot, and then Sanderson has a college series he teaches at BYU, which you can actually watch on YouTube for free, which is awesome, and I recommend for everyone. And he's just inspired me so much being able to read his stuff and say like, wow, that's what you can really do if you really get into building worlds and stories and stuff. So yeah, both of them have inspired me.
So tying into the second question, what things influence your writing? Other authors, a goal, your own experiences?
So I'd say I already answered the author part of that, but yeah, I'd say when it comes to my writing, I'm not in this to like make a lot of money. I would love to sell books and be a bestseller, so if you can buy it, but it's more just kind of fun to look at experiences in life and just kind of you end up writing themes without actually realizing you're aiming for a theme, whether it's like about love, grief, different situations, and I think that's just kind of fun is to look at experiences in life and kind of, I'm a discovery writer, so I don't plot out the entire thing ahead of time, and so I'm kind of discovering the plot as I'm writing it, and yeah, it comes with inspirations of both experience from life as well as, just different cultural things. Like I read too, I watch movies and all those things, and I'm sure some people might be able to point out bits of things where like that's similar to that. That's because everything's in books and stuff is somewhat unique, and you try to make sure you're not copying someone else, but sometimes it's inspired by something.
That's fair. I think writing too is such a creative outlet for you, and your mind is always running at a million miles a minute, and it gives a place for your mind to like put that energy in and that extra like wheels turning. It gives it something to work for. And it's also a dose of escapism. Brendan is an Enneagram 7, so that means he's always looking for new experiences, and especially during COVID, you were cooped up, so instead of like traveling around the world, you were able to travel around the world in your writing.
Which that's very true, is being able to make my characters travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The creativity of being able to do it is a lot of fun because there's not many other things where you can literally just be like, I'm throwing words at a sheet and it's creating a world.
You love challenges too, so it's a challenge every time trying to like weave your stories together.
And I decided to make it way more hard this time than I did the last series.
It's true. It's true. So what are the scarves in the background of your videos? I think you should go grab them, actually.
Okay.
Walk us through these scarves.
Okay. This one is the club I helped found, actually, Rockford FC.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yep, we
Here, I'll hold.
in our home. It's upside down.
Oh.
Or is it backward? I know it's correct. Nope, it's upside down.
Upside down. There you go. But backwards because of the selfie cam. That's fine.
So this is the club I helped found here in Rockford, and we're starting our first year this year. So it's a soccer club.
He's the VP of the board.
So if you're outside Europe, outside the United States, football; inside the United States, soccer. That's confusing as heck. Here's the DeKalb County United, which is another local one that's also upside down.
No, it was right.
Whatever. That's DeKalb County United, which is another local club.
I just love though their logo. Let's take a moment to appreciate it. It's like a soccer ball, but like corn cob, which is so Midwest, and I really appreciate that as a fan of corn.
And this is the first club I ever supported, which was Eintracht Frankfurt, which is a German soccer club. A lot of my heritage is also from Germany, and so I started supporting them back in high school, and they really got me into soccer in the first place. And then Detroit City FC, which is originally from the Detroit area, so they were one of the first local clubs I supported. I got this scarf actually from their game against St. Pauli, which was another German soccer club, which was pretty cool to see them visit.
Now, why did you move from Detroit?
Yeah, Andrea stole me from Detroit when we got married, and she said we are moving to Rockford no matter what. She pretended to negotiate on location
There was
for
no
a while.
negotiation.
There was no negotiation. We ended up in Rockford, and I love it here. It's a very unique city.
I love the way you put that. What's your favorite place that you've been?
My favorite place? That's hard. I really enjoyed visiting on our honeymoon. We went to Zion National Park and Bryce Canyon National Park, and both of those we were really lucky to be able to go during when there was kind of still snow on the ground, which was really unique because I think it would be cool anyway, but it was like this weird mishmash of like desert with winter snow, and it was really beautiful. So
You were especially enamored with the rocks were like sweating almost with all of this moisture seeping up into the pores of the rocks, and then it was getting carried off as fog throughout the canyon. So there was these horizontal strips or bars of fog rotating back and forth.
that actually inspired a part of book 2 in the series. So.
You have to get it to read it. What is the meaning of life?
42.
No.
No, I seriously left that question in there because Heron asked that. I wanted to say 42.
Okay. And who is the fairest of them all?
And that's you. I left that. That was your question. I know you put that in there. But yes, that's you.
Thanks.
Andrea's been really blessing for writing and just being a great wife. She deals with my constant rambles about the book.
All the time.
she's like, go talk on YouTube instead about it. Andrea's also my alpha reader, so she gets to read the books before anyone else, and she does a great job of that. Most people are like, don't include your spouse as your alpha reader because they can't insult your work. And I would say, no, that's not true at all. Andrea will blatantly tell me if something sucks. Which is nice because I'd rather hear it from her than a random person on the internet. As much as I appreciate random people on the internet's advice too. And so she's been a great blessing with that. She didn't want me to continue talking about her, but I wanted to do it anyway.
It's fine, I guess.
And now she insisted on one last question from her. So what was it?
What is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is probably a fox. And if you read the series, you'll probably see that comes through a little bit. I really love the cunningness of foxes. They're also just adorable. Mm-hmm. Half of my Instagram feed, I think, is just following foxes on Instagram.
Foxes and fantasy art. I love how, like, emotionally available and, like, into cute cuddly things you are.
Yeah, well, I don't know if my fantasy art, most of the fantasy art is, like, the dark fantasy art where it's, like, dark brooding guy and then it's, like, fox next time I stream. I mean, it's, like, pretty solid.
Yeah.
But that's all we had for the questions for today. I just wanted to, especially because I didn't have time to do Slavic Saturday because I was feeling a little bit under the weather from COVID vaccine. It's been a crazy week, and also our cat has been dealing with some health issues. Hopefully Brizza starts feeling better, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the book and just things in general, give you some content.
Important clarification. Would you recommend getting the COVID vaccine to people even though you've experienced side effects?
Yes, it just was minor cold symptoms, and then I decided to go referee a soccer game anyway, and I was sore.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Hey, made money. But thank you everyone for taking the time to watch this, and I look forward to talking to you guys next weekend when we return with Slavic Saturday.
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night.